Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to invite our guest for tonight on, Mr. Seamus Devlin. Um, I'll just get him on now. Um, Hope everybody's well. Had a good week. Should be a good chat tonight. Seamus, obviously, he's a journeyman in the professional boxing game. So we'll see what he has to say. Any questions, obviously, just fire them in and see if we can rattle through some of them. Getting Seamus on now. Good evening, sir.
Hello, my friend.
How are we?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. 1 second.
How are things, mate? Obviously, you've had a busy day in the gym.
No, mate. I'm actually resting up, mate. I'm actually resting at the moment. So, yeah, I'm I'm getting my reserves. I'm resting up, rejuvenating, ready for the following weeks, mate.
Yeah. Just to let everybody know, like, who doesn't kind of follow boxing that much, how did you get into boxing in the first place?
I actually started very late, my friend. I started at 27 years old. So I was very late. I think when most men are coming into their peak as athletes and fighters is when I actually laced up the gloves. So yeah, I started in the bare knuckle game. That's
Right.
where I first started. I started in the bare knuckle game. I did quite well in my bare knuckle career. Through there, I met several different characters from the unlicensed boxing scene. Um, those characters, they introduced me into the unlicensed scene. They seen I was more suited to boxing, to be honest, glove fighting. My style was more suited to pro glove boxing, and a few people seen that in me, so I made the transition into unlicensed. But I still stayed active fighting on the bare knuckle scene. But yeah, that was how I started, mate. At 27 years old, so 6 years ago now. And that's where I started, mate. I had 9 bare knuckle fights, 16 unlicensed. I managed to win 2 unlicensed titles, and I won 2 bare knuckle titles. And yeah, and then I closed that chapter and I turned over professional.
Yeah. How did the turn to professional come? Did you know people that were in the game already and just had a word with them, or was it a kind of long process?
The professional game, you mean?
Yeah.
The professional game, that was due to a gentleman, my coach and manager now, Curtis Gargano, a former
Right.
journeyman himself.
Hmm.
He had 52 professional fights. His father was also a notorious prolific journeyman, Des Gargano. He fought Nazim Hamed,
Right.
so
Right.
it lets you know what stock he's from. And
Yeah.
Curtis, I seen he was training a lot of the lads through lockdown.
Hmm.
He had a few decent fighters with him. Scott Williams, who fought Tommy Fury, Levi
Yeah.
Dunn,
Yeah.
Stephen Jackson, all top fighters.
Hmm.
And I think he was training those for lockdown. And I think I dropped him a message first, if I'm not mistaken. I dropped him a message and he said, "Come down, we'll see what you've got. Basically, we'll give you a trial sort of thing."
Hmm.
I went down there, mate, and the rest is history. Now I'm the most active journeyman in the UK.
Yeah.
And I'm doing
For
really
people
well,
for,
mate. I'm
for
just talking it up.
for people that don't know, can you explain what a journeyman is?
A journeyman basically is my interpretation and inside the boxing fraternity, the interpretation of the journeyman is we're the away fighter. We're there to give the prospects the work. We're there to keep them honest and test them. Um, what people need to realise with boxing, it is a sport, but it's also a business.
Hmm.
It's also a business. These
Definitely.
ones that are selling a lot of tickets, the ticket sellers, the prospects are coming through, and we're there to fight them. That's why we've got to be in shape week in, week out, and we're there to test them. We can go to win, but a lot of the time you're fighting on short notice. You're here one week, you might be in Glasgow another week, London the week after, and it's hectic, mate. You know, it's really
Yeah.
hard, but it takes a certain mental fortitude and strength to do this. I'll
Yeah.
say that. There's not many breaks. Breaks don't do Journeyman any good. Don't do Journeyman any good. So, yeah, we're basically there to keep testing these up and coming prospects and ticket sellers, basically, mate, and fighting as regularly as we can.
Hmm.
Which is, like I say, it's a hard job, but I love it, mate, and I soak it
I
up.
had I had a coach, Mick Guilfoyle, on last week, and I had asked him the question, like, journeyman boxers, obviously, their records like look kind of diminishing when you look at it, like loads of losses, no many wins. Do you think if you and others went to actually win, you could beat some of these people?
It's a good question, mate. Well, you're not going to be firing those cylinders week in, week out because
Hmm.
of the nature of the game. It's hard, you know. It's
Yeah,
depends how active you want to be. Every journeyman, I can only speak for myself. I mean, I fight regular because I want to fight that regular. That's how I want to
yeah,
be active because for me, mate, you can't cheat the evolution of a fighter. You
yeah.
cannot fast track this game. And coming in at 27 with no amateur experience,
Hmm.
there was no way I was going to sit back and do this half-hearted. I mean, I was 32 when I actually stepped foot in the gym, Curtis's
Right.
gym. So, do you know, I'd not actually turned over. I'd not
Yeah.
actually fought until I was 33. So, do you know,
Did
I
you
was
have any
30.
nerves going into your first one?
The most nervous I've ever been in my
Yeah.
whole fight career was my debut. I was like a rabbit in the headlights, mate. I will not lie. Um, yeah, that was daunting, mate. It wasn't. It was against a kid. He was only 19. He's 20 now. He was only 19 at the time. Leon Willings, keep an eye out for this kid. 3-0. He's got one knockout. He knocked the following fight out, his second fight. He knocked him out in under a minute. Vicious, this kid. Very
Yeah.
technical, strong. Hasn't filled out into his body yet. He could easily fight at light heavyweight. And he was just a banger, mate. And he was on me for 4 rounds trying to take me out, but I got through it. But yeah, to answer your question, I was really nervous for that, mate.
Yeah.
Really nervous.
Do you? What I don't know the situation. I don't know if you're allowed to speak about this. What do you usually get pay wise? Like, does it differ from show to show, or is it like a set wage that you get?
No, it's not a set ways. That can differ, mate. I'm not going to say exact numbers,
Hmm.
but that can differ, mate. Like I've fought on bigger shows when I got that fight against Joe Laws, December 17th last year on the Probellum
Yep.
show. That was a bigger show against a guy who sells a lot of tickets.
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of people will be watching this will be familiar with who Joe Laws is.
Yep.
Yeah, so it varies, mate, from show to show. The small hall shows are usually around a certain sum, but it differs, mate. It varies.
Hmm. I was speaking to you earlier on, and you said you had a couple of fights in Glasgow. Do you enjoy going up to Scotland?
It's my favourite place, mate. I've got to admit, it's my favourite place.
You must be the only person that say that.
Mate, no, honestly, it's brilliant. Sam Kinnock, the promoter, Sam Kinnock, is absolutely unbelievable, mate. He's a
Yeah, I
top,
know
top
Sam.
guy.
Yeah.
Very hospitable, loves his boxing. The shows he puts on are absolutely top class. The venues are just plush, mate. The Crown Plaza, which is where I should be next. Trump Turnberry, where I was a couple of weeks back,
Hmm.
which is one of Donald Trump's resorts, golfing resorts in Scotland.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful place, 5-star quality, and it was absolutely brilliant. So I love it, mate. I've seen the best side of boxing in Scotland, and I've seen the best
Hmm.
side of Scotland, mate. So yeah, I love it, mate, and I am in Glasgow in the not too distant future.
Yeah. Yeah. I seen. You had your first win. Was it last week or the week before?
That's correct, mate. Yeah, I'm
Did
absolutely
you
over
did
the
you
moon, mate.
enjoy that?
I did, mate, because it was a 6-rounder against a big, strong, hard-hitting light heavyweight. So
Hmm.
trust me to get my first win on the road in Essex against a light heavyweight in a 6-rounder.
Hmm.
But yeah, I always do everything the hard way, mate. But it was it wasn't a crowd pleaser. It wasn't
Hmm.
a barnstormer. I had to play it safe. I think I boxed really well from what I can remember. I'm sure I'll have my criticisms. Fighters are always their own worst critic, but I boxed very clever from what I can remember from being in there. I never got engaged. I never I never stepped into his range. I kept it at my range. I dictated the pace. If I wanted to go forward, I went forward. If I wanted to go back and let him walk onto that jab, that's what I did.
Yeah, yeah,
My timing was good. I was sharp. I was fit. I was ready, and that's testament to the training and the way we train in Gargano camp. It's unbelievable, mate.
yeah,
My coach and manager. I mean, if anyone wants to go out there and fight on the road, if you get good management and you've got a good coach, I'm lucky that they are both the same person for me.
yeah.
So there's not too many cooks spoiling my broth.
How long
The
have you
one
been
guy.
with Curtis for?
I've been with him now for a year, nearly a year.
Right.
But boxing, I made my debut July 31st, but I've been with him from the start. I think it was March or April. So
Right.
it's a year since I walked through them doors, mate. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a year, pal. But obviously you're travelling up and down on the road, week in, week out. You're in the
Yeah.
gym every single day, well, 4 days a week. You're in that gym, so you get to know that guy. And I couldn't be at a better place. His energy is unrivaled by anyone I've met in the sport, and I've been in this game 6 years.
Yeah.
And he's unrivaled by anyone. He's just unbelievable. His passion for the road warriors and the away fighters is second to none.
Hmm. Was that always your plan to turn journeyman when you first started off,
Do you
or
mean
was
when I
that
first
just?
started professional or when I first started
Yeah,
fighting?
yeah,
When I first
professional
started
was.
professional, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
32 going on 33. Not a big ticket seller. I gathered that from my first 4.5 years, 5 years in the game. I couldn't sell a lot of tickets. Most tickets I sold was for a grudge match that I fought on UBKB. I think I sold 37 tickets for that. So I was never a
Mhm.
ticket seller. I was never going to sell tickets. So for me, with my age and taking in the other variables into consideration,
Yeah.
I was always going to go on the road, and I knew Curtis was the right man for that. I just knew he was the right man. You only have to look at his resume and what he did and his father and how he did it. And I
Hmm.
thought, this is my lane. And I've always known from day one, mate. And
Hmm.
it's a beautiful thing. If you love boxing and you love staying active, there's not one part of this game I don't enjoy, mate. And I would not change it for the world. I don't have the
What?
stress of selling tickets. I'm out week in, week out, getting invaluable experience. The sparring that I get access to, sparring the likes of Mark Heffron, I think he's ranked 7th in
Mm.
Great Britain, might be
Yeah.
higher. You've got John Doherty, I sparred him, Steel City
Hmm.
Gym down in Sheffield, watching Sonny Edwards spar, which to me, mate, was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
To a lad from Paddy, mate, didn't start boxing until I was 27, to be watching Sonny Edwards spar, it was
Hmm.
just, oh, mate, humbling experience. But sparring guys like that, seeing guys like in the gym, Shane Singleton, who's recently just
Yeah.
joined the
Yeah.
table and come back, former WBC silver champion, English champion, fought for the British against Bradley Skeet. I'm learning so much, mate, and I do a lot of rounds week in, week out. That's one thing with me, I apply myself. But
Hmm.
I've got the facilities there, and I've got the sparring there, and I've got the access to top-notch sparring and training, mate. So I'm blessed. I'm absolutely
Yeah.
blessed.
Yeah. What's the what's the shortest period that you've took a fight on?
Um, just let me work it out if you want it, because this is short notice. I'll have to work this out. I got woke up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon that day to fight. The day before I fought Joe Laws, I was woke up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to a phone call. I'd switched off for Christmas. I'd not been in the gym for over a week. I'd put about 8 or 9 pounds on, and I get a phone call. I get woke up out of my bed. My phone's been going crazy. Um, Curtis is trying to get hold of me. It's a fight on a Probellum show, a big fight just before Christmas against Joe Laws, and I'm thinking, wow, I knew Joe Laws was straight away, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what
Uh-huh.
who am I to turn this down? So the shortest it was, mate, it wasn't even 24 hours notice. It was less than 24 hours, and I
Madness.
was down there. I'd been awake, I think 3 hours, 4 hours, and I was in front of um, Sky Sports and Probellum cameras, mate, doing media things for the Titantron when your picture comes up before you come out of the walkout. I'm there
Yeah.
doing it. I'm like, it was only till I got back to the hotel and I've sat down and I've gone, I've had a chance to digest it all, and then I've gone, wow, you're here. This is the big time, and you're here. But
Yeah.
it's testament to Curtis, mate, getting me opportunities like that. Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? It's unbelievable. It's next level. I am a fan. I am a boxing fan with a license, mate. Kane Baker said that. He was the guy I first heard coin that phrase, and that's me to a teammate. So for me,
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable, mate. This experience, unbelievable.
Yeah. You mentioned Scott Williams earlier. You're quite good friends with him, aren't you?
That's correct, mate. That's correct.
He's in the kind of same boat as you. He's up and down the country. Um, I said to one of my mates in work earlier, I says if it wasn't for you guys, some of these shows wouldn't go ahead.
Yeah, that's true, mate. I think I've saved a couple of shows myself last year fighting. My second fight was a 6 rounder. My second
Yeah,
fight, it was the week after. It was against Paul Keane, who is ranked in the top 15 in Great Britain. He's won
yeah,
two
yeah.
Scottish titles at 2 weights, a Celtic title. That was one of the hardest nights work. That technically, it wasn't a big puncher, thank God. But wow, was he accurate and sharp.
Mm.
Unbelievable. But yeah, Scott Williams is to get back to Scott. He's a top friend, mate. He's an absolute top guy. He'll be back on the road soon, doing what he does best. But he was fighting on that card, actually, the one we've just
Mm.
mentioned, the Crown Plaza.
Who's the best fighter that you think you've fought in the professional game so far? Who's one to
Oh,
kind of
man.
look out for?
It's
I know you
tough. You see,
mentioned.
I've fought at 3 or 4 different weights, light, middle, super middle, and light heavy.
Mhm.
So I'd say my
And it's
toughest night.
testament to you, mate. You've never been stopped, so hats off to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. But oh mate, it's a tough one. My toughest night in terms of energy being zapped and someone just being sat on you and constantly trying to take you out was a gentleman named Ryan Amos, and
Right.
it was down in Nottingham, and that was a really hard night. My debut that needs a mention, Leon Willings, he gave me a tough night. Paul Keane, oh mate, there's so many, there's so many. I mean, there's so many talented lads that I've fought,
Mhm.
but oh, it's a tough one. If you put a gun to my head, I'd have to say Ryan Amos, mate. But there's quite a few honourable mentions there, mate. They've given
Mhm.
me some really Darren Johnston, another Scottish fella. I just fought on the Fight Zone show recently.
Yeah.
Tall, long, really good amateur pedigree. Oh, them body shots, he gave me an absolute. Joe Laws. Joe
Mhm.
Laws. The only reason I managed to coast through that was the fact that I was really big compared to Joe. I was a weight
Yeah.
division or two
Yeah.
above Joe, so I could weather the shots quite well, and I could take the reverberation of the shots quite well because I was bigger than him in stature and posture.
So
But yeah,
do you not mind coming in at different weights? Does that not bother you?
not at all. Not at all, sir. And I'll tell you why, because we learnt a lot about myself last year and about what weight I should be at.
Mhm.
So we knew through cutting the weights and being at different weights, we knew, right, this is where my optimum is. This is where we need to be at if I'm fighting regular. If we get
Yeah.
noticed and stay before, this is where we can come down to. So I'm in a blessed position. I think the results are speaking for themselves, mate, as well this year. The John Harding
Definitely.
Jr. fight that I had, Dillian
Mhm.
White's boy, I fought him on Dean White's show. I lost that on points, but if you watch that back, that was a close competitive fight.
Yeah.
Every round was close.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's due to the fact that now I'm very comfortable at the weight I'm at. I'm more experienced now. And just like I said, the training I'm getting over in Oldham, mate, with Curtis and the boys, it's just next level.
Mhm. What's the plan going forward? Do you see yourself doing this for the next couple of years then?
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
I'll be with Curtis now for the next 2 years. I see me getting an extended contract, mate. I'll always be in boxing, mate. As soon as I'm retired, I'll be getting
Mhm.
my seconds license, my manager's license. I'll be doing all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be with Curtis from now till the time I retire, mate, and hopefully we'll do work in the future because
My,
what
my,
he's done for me, mate, and what he's done for my family and my life is unbelievable, mate. Like I've said, people have to see it with their own eyes. He showed more emotion than me after my victory.
yeah.
And I've seen it, mate. And you can't believe me, mate. You can't. It's priceless. His energy. He cares, mate. He cares about his fighters. And if you've got good management like I have, I'm blessed. Then you'll have a good career, mate. You'll have a good career on the road.
Has there been any fights that you've been in that you thought you maybe should have got the nod and you didn't?
No, to be fair, mate, no. I would say there's a couple of fights where I was given a 40-36 verdict, and I'll just say I found them quite unfair on only a
Yeah.
couple of occasions, mate. I think 90% of the time, mate, they've been spot on.
Mhm.
They've just been a bit too much for me, mate. A bit too cute, too clever. But a couple of times, and I'm not mentioning them because I just find it a little bit disrespectful. But a couple of times where I've had a couple of fights and I thought that wasn't 40-36 in my opinion, and I
Mhm.
felt it was closer than that. And
Yeah.
that 40-36 didn't reflect my efforts and didn't
Mhm.
reflect the story of the fight. But to answer the question, mate, not really, no.
No. My mate Billy Smith, God bless him, he was like yourself. He was up and down the country every I think every week. I think I met him when he came up to Scotland, and I thought I was there. I thought he should have won. He put the boy on the floor. I think it was once or twice, and he never got the verdict, and it did not phase him. He was kind of like, oh, as you say, used to it. used to not getting the decision, and it's
Yeah,
just like kind of on to the next one. Whereas if it was a kind of up and coming prospect, it would kind of dent them if they
yeah,
never got the decision. But
yeah.
it's like you guys have got a different mentality. It's crazy.
Yeah, you've just hit the nail on the head with that there. The mentality, the mindset is everything in this game, mate. You can be
Mm-hmm.
as fit as you want to be, as fit as you want to be. That's a third of it. The rest of it's up here. And if you haven't got this, you need to have durability. You need to have durability, but a lot of it stems from this, mate. And if you don't have that, you'll not survive on the road
No,
because,
definitely.
like I said, there's a process to a mental process to healing after defeat. Um, Journeymen don't really get to sit there and go through that healing process. You
No,
don't get to
no.
sit there and dwell for 24 hours, 40 hours.
Yeah.
Get back in the gym and learn your craft, dedicate yourself to
Mm-hmm.
your trade. So you have to be very shrewd. You have to shrug things off. You have to be very regimented in your approach to training. And you have to be able to be fathomable and just take defeat, sometimes literally on the chin.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tough, mate. But the mindset is everything. And that's why I think I excel
Yeah.
because I enjoy it. And if you can enjoy that misery and you can enjoy that pain, you can
Mm-hmm.
accept that pain. It's I thrive off it. And other fighters that talk the same, and I see them in the gym. Stephen Jackson, I've got to give a shout out to that. Bounce off that fella in the gym. He's just like, I think he's a flyweight, fights at junior bantamweight. But mate, that guy, Duracell Bunny, the geezer, he's full of energy, mate. Sort of fitness for
Unreal.
days, and I bounce off him, mate, because I love it, and it's that accepting it, enjoying it. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it, you'll find it tough, mate. It's just not
Yeah.
natural, is it?
What does your partner think of your job?
She loves it, mate.
Uh,
Absolutely loves it. She's been a massive part of it, mate, and a massive part of my success. Because
that's always a bonus as well, isn't it?
oh, mate, I'm blessed. I've got 8 sponsors, mate, and I have to give them sponsors a shout
Do you
out
know?
now whilst
I
I'm on
actually
here.
noticed that on your shots as well. I noticed
Yeah,
quite a lot.
I've got 8 sponsors. Luke Vaughan from Roof Kings. I'll probably forget one or two of these, but shout out that guy. Him and Declan McKenna from Upright Scaffolds, a local padium firm. They're unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nice bites. They're a little shopping padium, local firms, little local businesses. These people support me to no end. Daniel Alderson, shout out to you as well. Stephen Mairzy from Scotland. He supported me from the start of my career. Absolute top people, mate. Unbelievable, honestly. Can't thank them enough. Banyan Wellness Centre for keeping me injury free, keeping me agile in between contests. Tennant, they're absolutely brilliant for strength and conditioning. Their results speak for themselves. But these people, mate, are just next level. You know what I mean? Journeymen don't usually get 8 sponsors, you know what I'm saying? And these people are looking
I was
after
just
me.
about to say that. It's quite unusual to hear that.
Yeah, it is, mate. I'm blessed. I've got a strong family network. I've got 6 brothers, so you know, and they're all big fans of mine. I've got my missus. I've got 6 kids, 6
Geez,
stepdaughters,
so I've got 6 kids as well. Three
6 kids.
stepkids.
Snap,
Yep.
man, mate. So you'll know all about that, mate. Won't you? High blood pressure and
Oh
going
God,
grey.
aye. That's why no hair as well, mate.
Oh,
Exactly.
mate, it's definitely. I've got the best hairline in this house, my friend. No, no, they keep me on my toes, mate, but I won't change them for the world, my friend. And
Oh
I'm
no.
blessed. I'm absolutely blessed. I'm a God-fearing man. I pray every single day. I do believe in a higher power. When you look at the last few years of my life, the last 5 or 6 years of my life, I believe there's something up there, mate. There's something up there. There's something. I mean, me and Curtis said it before. I think our old men are both up there because both our old men are deceased. And they brought me and him together. I truly believe that, mate. I
Mhm.
truly, truly believe that. Because when I just look at everything that's unfolding and how it's unfolding now, it's just too strange to be
It's just
coincidental.
just meant to be.
Yeah, it's just too strange to be coincidental, mate.
Always
It,
believe everything happens for a reason.
definitely, sir. Definitely. Honestly, mate, you just look at it. I sit back sometimes when I've got time. I sit back sometimes and I evaluate everything the last 5 or 6 years, especially the last 12 months, and I look at it and think, wow, it's a strange roller coaster. This is a strange
Hmm.
roller coaster, but there's no way that these things have aligned just through chance. Now, some people say then that's saying that things are preordained, it undermines free will. But it doesn't to me. That's a different story, mate. It's a long conversation. But yeah, I truly believe I'm where I'm meant to be. And I think that my resume speaks for itself. 20 fights,
Definitely.
90 professional boxing rounds without being stopped. I'm just coming off a victory. Um, Nothing deters me, mate. And my mindset is strong and it's staying that way.
When's the next outing then? Is it been planned yet or still to hear?
I think it's next week, my friend, in Glasgow. That's the next time I'm out. God willing, mate.
How long would it take you to travel up there then? A good few
Only
hours.
takes 3 hours. 3 hours flat, mate. Yeah, three
What
hours
happens?
flat.
Do you get there, check in at the hotel, relax? Do you go
Yeah,
there the day before or
yeah.
on the day?
We go there the day before, but they have scrapped the day before weigh-ins now. But
Yeah.
with it being that distance, I think we will be going up the day before, I'm pretty sure. But I've always got a smile on my face when I'm heading to Glasgow. What a beautiful city, mate. As I said, it's beautiful, mate. It's a beautiful city. And not just that, the promotion's just brilliant. You get looked after when you get there. And
Sam Kinnock's class. Yeah.
oh, he's different, mate. He's different, honestly. Different beast. Unbelievable. We get there and straight away, I think it was the first time I met him, it was my second fight, the Paul Keane fight. I'm sat in the lobby area, in the reception area, which is close to the dining area. And we're getting some food that's on the promotion. We're eating top class. And I'm sat talking to a guy in a suit, and I thought this geezer was going to be a spectator, who was someone who was there for the weekend.
Yeah.
He's talking boxing with the lads. A very accessible guy. It was only Sam Kinnock. So, you know, and then someone told me that's the promoter there. So I'm thinking, wow, what a guy. Sat with all the away fighters, talking with us, just making sure everything was all right. Always checking up on me. My missus comes up with me. We're well looked after. Yes, a big shout out to Sam Kinnock, mate. Absolute top guy.
I think we'll end it here, mate. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. Obviously, we'll keep in touch off camera, and all the very best up in Scotland next week.
Thank you, my mate. Thank you. Also, mate, I think Corey Harrison wants to get on with you. I was speaking to a good friend of mine. I believe you've contacted him.
BKB, man, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Big Corey the Hammer, good friend of mine. I introduced him into the fight game, and yeah, he's a top lad. So I look forward to seeing him speak with you, my friend.
I'll message him then and see if he's available next week or whatever, and get him on as well then.
Top man, Craig, top man. A pleasure, my friend. Anyway, thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you too, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Top man. God bless,
Cheers,
man, mate.
mate.
God
Bye-bye.
bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.